So hello everyone, and greetings from the sunny Switzerland, like most of the world today. My name is Nello. Today I want to show you something a bit to explore the new Copilot Retrieval and Search API. I built an SPFx web part that let you test these APIs. So I work for a company, developer. It's an insurance company called La Mobilière in Switzerland, part of a small team, and we mainly use SPFx, TeamsFX, and Azure. So the agenda for today, we start with my motivation, why I felt the need to build this web part in the first place. Then I will go through the APIs themselves, a little bit about the semantic index, the retrieval API, and the search API, and explain how they differ. And I will share my key finding, especially around this non-deterministic, which was an eye-opener for me. So as a developer, I am still fascinated by how far search has come with RAG. So in our company, we are using extensively PNP modern search. We have about 10 search center, and also in my young year, I developed a search engine, so it's always be a passion for me. So as soon as these APIs became available, I wanted to experiment with them and not just read the documentation, but see what happens when I send a different query, how they behave with multilingual content. And I started implementing this tool to experiment with that. Foundation of this API is the Microsoft 365 semantic index, and unlike traditional SharePoint search, which uses keyword matching, we test some stemming and so, but it's not so powerful as the semantic index. It understands the meaning, so we can ask questions or even misspell words, and those are found. And from building the web part, my key observation is that there are not just semantic index, we have AI capabilities which appear to be embedded in the retrieval pipeline itself. And Microsoft states that the index understands context and intent and performs query transformation before searching. So identical queries can return slightly different result on repeated call. The two APIs represent different level of AI processing. So the Retrieval API returns an ordered text extract with relevant scores, and it does not generate answers. So you will have to bring your own answer post-processing if you want to present this accordingly to the user. The Search API is an hybrid search combining semantic and lexical approaches. It returns ordered document or pages with pagination and italiating. And the key difference is also in filtering. So the retrieval support KQL on multiple property, and search is only support parse filtering. And this is probably the most important thing I want to share. So until now with SharePoint search and graph search, we were accustomed with deterministic system, and the same query now as it returns same results. And with this new API, that's no longer the case. So in my testing, the same query could return different results, scores, or ordering. That's not a bug. That it appears to be how AI augmented retrieval works. So understanding and accepting this is essential before building production solution. It changes how you think about caching, testing, and what we promise to our user in terms of consistency. So what the web part basically does, which I will showcase afterwards, is it has a tab for each API, plus a little log viewer. And in the retrieval tab, you can control every parameter, data source, result count, KQL filter, and metadata field. And the search tab gives you the hybrid search capabilities with pagination. And for the log viewer, it logs every API call with timing and payloads. And the metadata picker dynamically discover managed property from the tenant. And this is something I borrowed from the great PNP Modern Search solution. So we have the same functionality here. There's a quick comparison SharePoint search, which we know and use for 25 years in the next couple of days, is keyword-based and deterministic. And the Retrieval API brings semantic understanding, but appears non-deterministic in my testing, and it's also limited to 25 results. The Search API adds hybrid search with pagination, but only support path filtering. So I will now switch to the code and show you the web part. So I will show you here basically how the retrieval is done for this managed property. And that's a little trick which I borrowed, as I said before, from the PNP Modern Search. So it generates a search query where it gathers all the managed properties. So it gets up to 50,000 properties, and it gets one row from the SharePoint search, and that's how this property selection works in the web part. So I will now switch to the web part. So I'll approach this whole testing for the Copilot Retrieval and Search API. I did generate some documents. These are documents about animals, but they also about technology. And then I tried to understand how the both API behave in those cases. So I have also multilingual document here, and this is the web part. So you have here the Retrieval API tab. I have here the Search API tab, and when I do some search, I will get logs. I can show that in short. So I can, for example, here in the Retrieval API, I can search for. I am looking for animals from the jungle, and then I say search, and it will show me the results. So it doesn't retrieve all the animals from the jungle, because basically I would have expected that all the language would have been retrieved, but that's such a great start, because I've inputted a language, a natural language query, and it retrieved me those results. Then I can show here, I can have here, select some data source, how much result I want. I can also say here, I want, this is the function I've shown before in the web part. I can also show I can have multiple property which are selected. Then if I search for the same here, I will get those property here, display and created by, that's those which I've selected. And I also have here the results. I can compare the request, and this is the raw response which I get from the Retrieval API. So there are some editing which are done from the code here, and it's explained in the GitHub repo. The heat highlighting is not done in this case from the Retrieval API, but it's something which is done from the web part. So it's not exactly the hit which was done by the Retrieval API. So if I take the same here, search query, and I put that in the search API, then I will get no results. So the experience is a bit different, but I can remove that here. And let's see what happens here. And I get some results here for that. And what's incredible is I can do, for example, here, aminals or so, I think. And then I get also, because I've misspelled this word, I get some results. So can also say here, don't write that like that. We all know how SharePoint is spelled. But I can search for SharePoint at TypeScript with the search API, and it's very great at finding some stuff. And it retrieves and gives me the result for this document. Then you have here for both tabs, you have some example. These are injected from your tenant, so you don't have to write this. And for the Retrieval API, you also have much more of this example because we have more possibility here. So you can take this one and try this in the search. So back to my presentation, and so what I think is this web part is developer tooling. So it is done to test both API, and together they can be combined to do new search experience in SharePoint and Microsoft 365. Maybe we should add some GPT processing on top to re-rank, translate, or summarize, or do some reasoning around the result which we gather. But we have all the tooling with SPFx and Azure to do that. That's all. Thank you very much.